Mr. Watson, New State, the recent general election in Nigeria, which makes it the 7th consecutive time since the nation's return to democracy, has provoked a lot of questions about brand Nigeria. Analysts believe that developments before and during the elections have gone a long way in worsening the already desperate socio-economic and political realities of the nation, while doing little to redeem her solid image before the international community. So, has the brand essence of product Nigeria been damaged? Or conversely, has the brand value been enhanced? What needs to be done to reposition Nigeria for a brighter international image? So many questions, but thankfully, we have joining us to provide answers Dr. Tony Agbons, who is a researcher and senior lecturer at Anglia Ruskin University in London, the United Kingdom. Good to have you with us on Newsday.
Thank you, Nee. It's my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Very good. Now, there's been few attempts in the past to showcase Nigeria and for people to believe in their country. We remember during the military era, the issue of brain drain, the Andrew jingle that used to go there in those days, and of course the war against indiscipline. But what has changed since then, and where are we now?
Yeah, thank you, Nee, for that question and your very robust intro. As a Nigerian, more so as one who lives in the diaspora, I would say not much has changed. And all the indices and parameters are clear. We remember Enebuwa for that Andrew One checkout scenario. I was very young then watching this on TV. And the same scenario is playing out decades after. So you look at our nation, Nigeria, and as a brand, and you look at it, are we moving or are we retrogressing? What exactly is it we are doing? I look at the brand Nigeria as motion without movement. A lot of people will challenge me on this, but that is the truth. Because when you look at a lot of the key sectors that make for essential human living, they are either non-existent, or if they are existent, they are so superficial that it doesn't make impact in the lives of the ordinary man on the street or woman on the street. So this is where we are in Nigeria. And to put this in context, I would say that if you ask any marketing expert, and they will tell you that, what is a brand? Okay, a brand is a product or service or concept that can easily be distinguished. Okay, so that when you are marketing it, you are able to communicate it very easily and people will understand. So if you ask the average Nigerian today, they will tell you, oh, I'm first. They will mention their tribe before they are Nigerian. So what I think we have done in this last 63 years of nationhood is that we have Nigeria, but we don't really have, core Nigerians. And we hope that we will get there.
All right, we hope we'll get there. Some will say that our image, no thanks to how the election played out, has taken a huge beating. The president has been sworn in. Of course, we know they're still in court and cases are still being looked into. But talk to us, how do we reposition the image called Nigeria so that people begin to see us as a country that has prospect for the future?
Very, very good one, Aaron. Good one. You see, in thought processes, you look at cause and effect, yeah. Okay? I was on this program before the February election. I'm talking about the general elections. I was on this program. And we had this discussion as well. And I must say that the last election was a missed opportunity for the rebranding of Project Nigeria. Because there was so much hype about this election that it was going to be done properly. You see, when you look at Nigeria, especially as somebody who, this is not to blow any trumpet. I've seen some other climes. And the major indices that make for a society to grow is trust. So when trust is broken between the government and the governed, or between government institutions and citizens, there is always a lag. And that is where Nigeria is. Let's imagine a scenario that this last election went the way it went. We cannot say too much on the election because the case is in court. So it's not very judicial to be jumping into that that Atlantic. But you see that people are beginning to lose faith in the brand Nigeria. Let me just chip this in as somebody coming from a marketing background. There are three key things that, whether it's a business organization, whether it's a family or it's a nation, three key things that all strong brands have. There are three common themes. Number one, they value long-term relationship and not just a short-term sale. Nigeria, our short-termism is hurting the fabric of this nation. Okay? So, number two, they develop strong branding that is visual. You feel it. Okay? And then number three, they understand the value of meeting the customer emotional needs. If you ask the average Nigerian, is Nigeria meeting their emotional needs? The answer is obvious. And I've always said this. I was speaking in Benin during a forum like this last week. And I said that there is a fundamental framework which people are very familiar with it, called the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where it says that the three basic needs of any man or woman is food, clothing, and shelter. So there's a pyramid. We talk a lot about it in academics. So when human beings are able to meet these three basic needs, then they know they are surviving. But where these three basic needs are not met, and then you see that the whole society becomes a sort of, in quote, an animal farm, where Napoleon can do whatever he likes. That is where people will be struggling. Let me grab, let me take. But this shouldn't be so. But unfortunately, that is where we are as a nation. So we need to go back to the basics, rebuild trust, and the government has a new role to play in this.
Indeed, Dr. Agbons. Now, they do say there's a strength in diversity. When you look at societies like the United States, the average person there, there's a sense of pride that you are from that region of the world, as it were. And of course, irrespective of the racial tensions and whatever challenges they might be having, and of course the diverse nature of their society, they seem to be having that long-term belief in their country, especially in the Committee of Nations, as it were. So how can Nigerians, with well over 200 ethnic, it's a melting pot of ethnic configuration. But where we are right now, how do we sustain that in the face of that diversity, as it were?
Yes, that is very simple. Number one, we need to be true to ourselves. There's a lot of injustice in Nigeria, and that again has come to the fore during this last general election. We are looking forward to the day where...
I'm sorry if I may comment. Is it partly... Because when you look at some of these challenges, the political class itself are sowing the seed of discord.
I was going there.
In terms of the rhetoric.
Yeah, you took the sail out of my ship there. I was going there. So if you look at... When I look at the brand Nigeria, I see it as a cyclical 4-year project. It is during election every 4 years that this ethnic and religious sentiment are whipped by the political class. And the reason why they do it, so that they can win elections. So until the political elite in Nigeria, just a few of them, until they understand that all the goodies, all the perks and the benefit they enjoy from this land, they will not enjoy it except there's a Nigeria to enjoy. So they need to understand that there's a limit to which you can push the people. So the Nigerian state is overstretched at the moment. There's tension. But we are hoping that in this particular election cycle, things will be brought back to normal, because the brand is being damaged. There's a lack of synergy. Like you mentioned the United States now. Yeah. An American will tell you, oh, our country is God's own country. It's America first. But if you ask the average Nigerian, it is not Nigerian first, because many Nigerians are not benefiting from the Nigerian project. They are not benefiting from the brand. So when you have no benefit from something, We all, like we say in local parlance, they will say friends with benefit. So if I'm your friend's knee and I'm not benefiting from you, then of what purpose is our friendship? Yeah. So this is where we are as a nation. People need to start benefiting from the commonwealth. Look at the statistics that the National Bureau of and the NBS released last year. 133 million Nigerians in multi-dimensional poverty. Okay? And people are struggling with healthcare, access to education, power. We can go on and on. So we need to start that rebuilding process.
Well, some would say that the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has actually kick-started that particular move. Some would say that the removal of fuel subsidy, the bills that have been passed into law, is pointing Nigeria towards the right direction and helping reshape the image. And the market forces are even beginning to respond to his actions and to his movements on the chess piece table. What do you have to say to that?
Thank you. Yes, we have a new administration in place. The president, the new president, he's been taking some decisive action, really decisive action. Like some people will say, he's treading on places where angels fail to tread. And everybody know in Nigeria that the subsidy would have to be removed at some point. Even during the election, all the major presidential candidates, they said that. So although analysts like myself, we contend that probably this should have been done differently, but it had to go if Nigeria is to remain viable economically. So that is there. But it is still very early days, Aaron. Yeah. The president was sworn in on May 29th. From that to today, it's about 19 days. It is still early days. Everybody is looking forward to him constituting his cabinet. He did say in Chatham House in London that he's going to work on teamship. So we're all waiting to see those that will be around him, because he can't do it alone.
Indeed, he can't. You're very right there. Dr. Tony Agbons, researcher, senior lecturer, Anglo-Ruskin University, London, would like to thank you for your input on this very topical discussion. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.